Hi friends, welcome to Tackle Knowledge channel. So today we will be continuing the class 7th science, activity 1.1. Take two potted plants for the same kind. Keep one in the dark or in a black box for 72 hours and other in sunlight. So we have to take two potted plants which is of same kind, and one we have to keep it in the dark place for 72 hours and the other pot in the sunlight. So those pots must be planted. And after this, perform iodine test with the leaves of both the plants as you did in class 6th. So in earlier classes, class 6th, whatever test we have performed for iodine test, the same process we have to proceed with the plants which are kept in dark and light conditions. We have to perform the iodine test for the plants. Record your results. Now leave the pot which was earlier kept in the dark. So after taking the result, we have to leave the pot which is earlier kept in the dark in the sunlight for 3 to 4 days. So after keeping one of the pot which we have placed it in the dark place, so again we have to place that particular pot for sunlight for 3 to 4 days, and perform the iodine test again on its leaves. So after that we have to perform the iodine test on the plant. Record your observations in your notebook. So after that we have to record our observations. The leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. So the leaves containing the pigment called a chlorophyll. The large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color. So there are large amount of pigments which consists of a red, brown and other pigments, masking with the green color. Figure 1.4. So here they have shown the leaves of various colors. Photosynthesis takes place in these leaves also. So photosynthesis is taking place in all of these leaves. You often see slimy green patches in ponds or stagnant water bodies. So we often used to see slimy green patches in ponds or stagnant which are present in the water bodies. These are generally formed by the growth of organism called algae. So this green patches which is present in the ponds, we will be calling this as a growth of an organism. That particular growth of organism, we will be calling it as a algae. Can you guess why algae are green in color? So they are asking why the algae is in green in color. They contain chlorophyll which gives them the green color. So algae contains a chlorophyll pigment which gives them a green color. Algae can also prepare their own food by photosynthesis. So algae is preparing its own food through photosynthesis process. Synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. So now we will be seeing about the synthesis of a plant food other than carbohydrate. You have just learnt that plants synthesize carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis. So earlier we have learnt that plant can synthesize carbohydrate through the process of a photosynthesis. The carbohydrate are made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So as we know that carbohydrate is made up of a carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules. These are used to synthesize other components of food such as proteins and fats. So carbohydrates which are used to synthesize other components of food such as protein and fat, but protein are nitrogenous substances which contain nitrogen. So protein contains a nitrogenous substance which containing a nitrogen element. From where do the plant obtain nitrogen? So from where the plant is obtaining nitrogen? This is the question. Recall that nitrogen is present in abundance in gaseous form in the air. So nitrogen which is present in the gaseous form in the air, so the plant is getting nitrogen. How it is getting nitrogen? However, plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form, so plant can absorb carbon dioxide through air. So it cannot absorb nitrogen from the air. Instead it absorbs nitrogen from the soil. So soil has certain bacteria that convert gaseous nitrogen into a usable form and release it in the soil. So soil has a certain bacteria which is converting gaseous nitrogen into a usable form and releasing it into the soil. These are absorbed by the plants along with the water. So this gaseous form nitrogen is converted into a usable form into the soil. So this is going to convert into a usable form in the soil. Okay, so after that the plant is absorbing this nitrogen from the soil. So this nitrogen is absorbed by the plants. Okay, so as the nitrogen is mixed in the soil, these plants are going to utilize this nitrogen to the plants. Also, you might have seen farmers adding fertilizers rich in nitrogen to the soil. So if we see the farmers, they are going to add the fertilizers to the soil. Okay, likewise the plant is getting nitrogen from the soil. In this way, the plants fulfill their requirement of nitrogen along with the other constituents. So in this way, the plants fulfilling their requirement of nitrogen along with its other constituents. Okay, plant can then synthesize proteins and vitamins also. Okay, plant is synthesizing protein and vitamins. Next we will be seeing about the 1.3 other mode of nutrition in plants. So we will be seeing about the other mode of nutrition in plants. There are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. So some plants does not contain any chlorophyll. They cannot synthesize food. So the plant which does not contain any chlorophyll, so they cannot synthesize its own food. Okay, how do they survive and from where do they derive nutrition? So how instead plants does not contain any chlorophyll, so it cannot synthesize its food, right? So how they are surviving and getting their nutrition? This is the question. Like human and animals, such plants depend on the food produced by other plants. Okay, like human and animals, such plants depends on the food produced by other plants. So plant is depending on the other food which is preparing its own food. So this plant, for example, this plant is preparing its own food. Okay, humans and animals is dependent on this plant. Okay, so another plant is dependent on this plant food. Likewise, it is surviving with the other plant food sources. They use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So in this way, we will be calling this process as a heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, this process we will be calling it as a heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Look at figure 1.5. So if we see the figure 1.5, here Cuscuta amabile on host plants. Okay, do you see a yellow really branched structures twinging around the stem and branches of a tree? So we are seeing here the yellow part of this plant which is a twinging. Okay, these are twinging around the stems and branches of the tree. It does not have any chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant in which it is climbing. So it does not have, this plant does not contain any chlorophyll, so it is dependent on the plant which is climbing. Okay, which is climbing the plant, it is dependent on that particular plant. Okay, so this is the plant of a Cuscuta. This is the plant of a Cuscuta. Okay, so this Cuscuta plant does not have any chlorophyll. Okay, it takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing. So this Cuscuta plant is dependent on the plant which is climbing on this plant. Okay, plant which is climbing on this Cuscuta tree. So this Cuscuta is dependent on that particular climbing plant. This plant on which it climbs is called the host. So the climbing plant which we will be calling this as a host. Okay, since it deprives the host of valuable nutrients, Cuscuta is called the parasite. So since the Cuscuta is dependent on the host plant, we will be calling that as a parasite. Okay, are we and other animals also kind of parasites? So they are asking that we and other animals are also parasites like a Cuscuta plant. This is the question. You should think about it and discuss with your teacher. So we have to think about this question and we have to discuss with our teacher. Pehle wants to know whether mosquito bed bugs, lice and leeches that sucks our blood are also parasite. Pehle wants to know whether the mosquito bed bugs, lice and leeches are also a blood suckers, whether they are parasites or not. So for this question, yes, all these mosquito bed bugs, lice and leeches all are parasites because they are dependent on our blood. Okay, have you seen or heard of plant that can eat animals? So have you ever heard whether the plant is eating animals? There are a few plants which can trap insect and digest them. So there are some plants which is trapping the insect and digesting them. Okay, it is not amazing. So it is not amazing, right? Such plants may be green or of some other colors. So some plants are green and some are other color. Okay, look at the plant in figure 1.6. So if we see the 1.6, this is the pitcher plant showing lid and pitcher. Okay, this is the pitcher plant, this is the lid, this is the pitcher. Okay, leaf modified into a pitcher. Okay, the pitcher like or jug like structure is the modified part of the leaf. So this is the modified part of leaf. Okay, modified part of a leaf. The apex of the leaf forms a lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. So this apex of the leaf forms a lid. Okay, this apex of the leaf forms a lid. This is the apex which is forming as a lid for the pitcher. Okay, it is opening and closing. It can close and it can open also. Next, inside the pitcher there are hair which are directed downwards. So inside the pitcher plant there are hair which is present inside this pitcher. Okay, when an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closes and trap the insect get entangled into the hair. So when the insect is going to sit on this pitcher, as soon as the insect is sitting on this pitcher, it is going to trap with its lid. Okay, it is going to close the lid and the insect is trapped in the entangled hairs. The lid closes and the insect is trapped. So as soon as the insect sits on this pitcher plant, the lid is going to immediately close it. Okay, the insect is digested by the digestive juices secreted in the pitcher and its nutrients are absorbed. Such insect eating plants are called insectivorous plants. So as soon as the lid is closed, the insect is digesting its digestive juices which are present inside this pitcher. Okay, so it is absorbing the nutrients of the particular insect. Okay, such insects eating plant we will be calling this as a insectivorous plants. Okay, so pitcher plant as a insectivorous plant. Okay, next, is it possible that such plants do not get all the required nutrients from the soil in which they grow? So they are asking whether the plants are getting the required nutrients from the soil from which they are growing. This is the question. So Bojo is confused. If the pitcher plant is green and carries out photosynthesis, then why does it feeds on insects? So he wants to know, if the pitcher plant is containing a green color, so it is having chlorophyll, right? So it can synthesize its food, right? So why it is dependent on the insect? This is the confusion for the Bojo. Next we will be seeing about the saprophytes. Saprophytes. You might have seen packets of mushrooms sold in the vegetable. So we have seen mushrooms which are sold in the vegetable market. Okay, vegetable market. You may have also seen fluffy umbrella like patches growing in moist soil or on rooting wood during the rainy seasons. So we know that mushrooms are sold in a vegetable market. These mushrooms are fluffy umbrella like patches. Okay, it is growing like a fluffy umbrella like patches in a moistened soil on rotted wood. During the rainy season it is going to grow. Okay, let us find out what type of nutrients they need to survive and from where they get them. So let's know about the types of nutrients which are required to grow for these mushrooms. Okay, Bojo wants to know how these organisms acquire nutrients. They do not have mouth like animals do. They are not like green plants as they lack chlorophyll and cannot make food by photosynthesis. So he wants to know that how mushrooms are growing as they does not contain any chlorophyll or it does not make any photosynthesis, right? So he wants to know how they are growing. Now let's see about the activity 1.2. Take a piece of bread and moist it with water. So we have to take a piece of bread, we have to moisten this bread. Okay, we have to moisten it bread, leave it in a moist warm place for 2 to 3 days or until fluffy patches appear on them. So after wetting this bread patch, we have to leave it for the 2 to 3 days. Okay, so after 2 to 3 days, what is the color of these patches? So what is the color of these patches? We have to see, observe after 2 to 3 days. Observe the patches under a microscope or a magnifying glass. So we cannot see these organisms through our naked eyes, so we have to observe it in the magnifying microscope, magnifying glasses or a microscope, microscope. We can observe through microscope or a magnifying glasses. Okay, so write down your observation in the note. So after watching it, we have to note down the results. Okay, you will see cotton like threads spread on the piece of the bread. So after 2 to 3 days, we can observe this white, okay, these white substances which is a white thread like structures, okay, these are white thread like structures, okay. So these organisms are called a fungi, so we can call this as a fungi. So the bread which is wetted and kept for 2 to 3 days, after 2 to 3 days we can observe a white colored thread like structures, we will be calling this as a fungi, okay. They have a different mode of nutrition, so fungi is having a different mode of nutrition. They absorb the nutrients from the bread, so this fungi is absorbing the nutrients from the bread. This mode of nutrition in which organism takes in nutrients from dead and decaying matter is called a saprotrophic nutrition. So to grow the fungi, it is absorbing the bread nutrients, right, and it is growing. So this mode of nutrition we can call it as a saprotrophic nutrition. We can call this as a saprotrophic nutrition, okay, saprotrophic nutrition. Such organisms with the saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called as saprotrophs. So this mode of nutrition, saprotrophic nutrition, this mode of nutrition we will be calling it as a saprotrophs. Fungi also grow on pickles, leather and clothes. So fungi not only on the bread, it is also growing on the pickles, leathers, clothes and other articles, okay, that are left in hot and humid weather for long time. So if any pickle, leather, clothes or any other articles which we are lefting it in the hot or a humid weather for a long time, so this fungi is going to grow fast, okay. During the rainy season they spoil many things, so during the rainy season the fungi is going to spoil everything, okay. Ask your parents about the menace of the fungi in your house. So ask your parents about the menace of the fungi which is growing in your house, okay. The fungal spores are generally present in the air. So how the fungus is growing? As the fungus spores are present in the air generally, okay, they are present in the air. When they land on a wet or a warm things, they germinate and grow. So as soon as if they get any wet, okay, and warm things, they get any wet or warm things, they used to germinate and grow, okay. Now can you figure out how we protect our things from getting spoiled? So here the question is how we are protecting our things from getting spoiled. So here is the Bojo's confusion. Bojo says once his grandfather told him that his wheat fields were spoiled by a fungus. So Bojo is saying that his grandfather has told him that wheat fields are spoiled due to the fungal growth, okay. He wants to know if a fungus cause diseases also. He also wants to know whether these fungus is growing diseases are also, okay, or not. So this fungus is growing diseases or not, okay. He wants to know whether this fungus is growing diseases or not. Pehle told him that many fungi like yeast and mushrooms are useful. So Pehle said that yeast and mushrooms are useful, okay, but some fungi causes diseases in plants. So yeast and mushrooms are utilized for our nutrition, right? So these are the good fungi, and there are some fungi which is causing diseases in plants, animals, including humans. So fungi which are causing diseases, they are harmful for plants, animals, okay, including with the humans. Those fungi are dangerous. Some fungi are also used as a medicine. So some fungi are also used in the medical purposes also, okay. Now next, some organisms live together and share both shelter and nutrients. So if we see some organisms are living together and they are sharing both shelter and nutrients, so this relationship we will be calling this as a symbiosis, okay, symbiosis. We can call this as a symbiosis. For example, certain fungi live inside the root of plants. So if we see the fungi, it is going to live inside the root of the life, okay, fungi, sorry. So if we see the fungi, it is going to live inside the roots of the plant, okay, it is living in the roots of the plant, okay. The plant provide nutrients to the fungus, and in return the fungus provides water and certain nutrients. So as the fungi is present in the roots of the plant, the fungi is providing nutrients to the plant, right? So this fungi is helping for the plant to survive by providing some nutrients, and the plant is providing in return the fungi is providing water, okay. As plant is providing this fungi to live inside its root, okay, means it is sharing its nutrients to the fungus, okay. So in return the fungus is providing water and certain nutrients to the plant, okay. An organism called lychees, a chlorophyll containing partner, which is an alga and fungi, live together. So if we see the lichens, it is containing a chlorophyll, okay, containing partner, which is an algae and fungi live together. So algae and fungi is living together. The fungi provide shelter, water and minerals to the algae, and in return the algae prepares and provide food to the fungus. So here the process is, the fungus is providing shelter to the algae, okay, shelter, water and mineral to the algae. In return, what algae is doing, so the fungus is providing shelter, water and minerals to the algae, and in return the algae preparing and providing food to the fungus. Okay, so 1.5, next class we will be discussing about this, how nutrients are replenished in the soil. Okay friends, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please kindly like, share, subscribe, and if it is helpful, please like it, share it with your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.